After a day that will live in our hearts forever, where my kids and I experienced the hunt of a lifetime, we now turn our lens towards the rest of the group. The bonds built, the game harvested, and the memories made weren't just ours. This is their story. This is the Big Day, Part 2. To truly tell the full story of this unforgettable hunt, we rewind all the way back to day 1. The men kicked off the day checking zeros, making sure the rifles were dialed in and ready for whatever the bush had in store. With confidence confirmed and adrenaline building, we regrouped at the camp to finalize gear and headed out. It didn't take long before the first wave of success rolled in. Aiden, with focus and precision beyond his years, dropped a beautiful Creedmoor Impala ram. Not long after, his father Justin followed up with an equally clean shot, another Creedmoor ram down. Wasting no time, Aiden proudly kicked off his rite of passage, embracing the tradition with a smile that said it all. That afternoon, just before 4 o'clock, the day gifted us another unforgettable moment. My daughter got her chance. She made it count. Another proud harvest, another memory made. Day 1 was quickly shaping up to be something truly special. Morning of day 2 delivered more than we could have hoped for. As we moved into the bush at first light, it wasn't long before opportunity struck. A blue wildebeest stepped into view, and with a calm breath and steady aim, I took the shot clean and ethical. Unbeknownst to me, on the other side of the reserve, Rainier was lining up his own moment. With composure and focus, he brought down a magnificent mature Impala ram, an absolute textbook specimen. A perfect double. With both animals loaded, hearts full and spirits high, we made our way back to camp. The next chapter of the hunt began. Slaughter and preparation. The bush had provided, and now it was time to honor the harvest. While all this was unfolding across the bushveld, another hunting party, father, his daughter and son, were waiting patiently in a nearby hide. Their hopes were high, the excitement quietly building as they watched and waited. But nature had other plans. Sometimes the hunt tests your patience more than your aim, but this day was far from over, and the promise of opportunity still hangs in the mist. Back at camp, while the work of butchering was underway, the kids found a moment to simply be kids. With the heavy lifting behind them and anticipation of the hunt temporarily set aside, they laughed, played, and lounged around. These in-between moments, carefree and full of life, are what makes trips like these unforgettable. It's not just about the hunt, it's about the bonds we build between the adventures. With the midday sun beginning to ease, we geared up and headed out once more. This time, we dropped off Justin and Herman at separate locations, each with the goal of a walk and stalk hunt through the thick bush. While Justin and Herman were out stalking, we waited nearby when suddenly it was my son's moment. With calm nerves and a steady hand, he made a clean shot, another incredible memory made. On our way back to the slaughtering poles, we swung by to collect the hide party, still hopeful despite the quiet morning. Back on the truck, we trust that Michaela might find her moment in the open, and sure enough, she did. Patience and perseverance paid off as she made her mark with grace and precision. After the shot rang out, we climbed off the truck and followed the tracks into the bush. Step by step, we scanned the terrain, every print and sign drawing us closer. And then we saw him. Michaela's mature Impala ram lay just ahead, a beautiful and respectful harvest. Overwhelmed by the moment, she turned and embraced her father, tears flowing in a mix of pride, emotion, and the weight of the experience. My daughter ran over and wrapped her in a hug, one hunter consoling another. These are the moments that define this journey, not just the hunt, but the heart behind it. Back at camp, it was time to welcome Michaela into the hunter's circle. With pride and a few laughs, she joined the tradition, marking her first harvest with the respect and joy it deserved. At around 12:30 in the afternoon, we got the call to collect Justin and Herman. We weren't sure if they were successful, but as we arrived, there they were, standing tall, with smiles on their faces and 2 blue wildebeest cows on the ground. A midday double. Unexpected, impressive, and well earned. With another successful hunt behind us, we headed back to camp, this time with even more to celebrate. Spirits were high, the smiles were wide, and the stories started flowing as we gathered around to honor the day's achievements. The bush had been generous, and now it's time to soak in the moments with friends and family. As the laughter echoed around the camp, a sudden realization struck us. Justin, after all these years, had somehow never been properly initiated. Naturally, the brotherhood couldn't let that slide. Some good-natured foolery unfolded, and let's just say, Justin finally got what was long overdue. The boys stepped up eager, or maybe just curious, to try raw liver for the very first time. A rite of passage for many hunters before them. Their faces said it all. Equal part pride, surprise, and maybe just a touch of regret.
Byt 'n klein stukkie en sluk hom.
Trou, dit kyk almal ene trou.
Dit proef presies
Nie
dieselfde.
kyk hier so uit en eerder. Kyk, hy eet dit ook.
Dit daar's niks
Kyk
fout met
hier so,
dit.
kyk hier.
Ja, ek het dit al geëet. Kyk hoe groot is hy.
Luan, het jy jou nog
Wat
geëet?
dit afie?
Ek het
Okay,
net
kom
een
maar
klein
hier, okay, moet hy ook, dit okay.
Weet jy wat is die idee?
Niks
Dis
is
die
okay,
idee
okay.
wat jou maak dat
Kom staan hier, moet hulle so raak, kom staan.
As the afternoon sun started to dip lower, we headed out once more, this time for Luan, the last of the young hunters waiting for his moment. The bush was thick, visibility limited, but then a window. A mature Impala ram stepped into a narrow gap. The only shot available, a challenging headshot. Luan checked in with his father if he may take the shot. He got the nod. One clean, perfect shot.
Mooi boeta. Luan, is jy bly?
He dragged his ram to the truck with pride, and I gave him a hand loading it. His hunt complete. With the final Impala loaded and the sun fading fast, we made our way back to camp. It was time to exhale. We gathered around, debriefed the day's incredible moments, and fired up supper. Laughter echoed, stories flowed, and the weight of the successful day settled in around the firelight. These are the moments that last, the hunt, the bond, the shared fire under open skies. The new day broke crisp and calm, the air carrying with it a quiet sense of purpose. Aiden had one last mission, harvest a blue wildebeest bull for his grandfather. As we moved through the bush, it wasn't long before an opportunity presented itself. With measured breath and a steady hand, Aiden took the shot. Just meters from where it stood, we found the downed bull, a clean, respectful harvest. Aiden had done it, not just for himself, but for Opa, a legacy carried forward. And then we were down to the one last mission. Zin was on the lookout for an Impala. Any Impala would do. The first stalk didn't go our way, but the bush rewards patience and persistence. On a second attempt, Zin connected, a solid impact on an Impala ewe. We dismounted the truck and began tracking, A few steps in, we found it, a fresh piece of lung on the path. The shot had landed true, the spoor would soon lead us to the prize. With the final hunt behind us, we returned to camp to ease out the rest of the day. The energy shifted, no longer one of anticipation, but contentment. The kids gathered around the fire, kids being kids. Not long after, they started building roads in the dirt with Grandpa. They were just kids again, no longer first-time hunters, but proud young members of the tradition. The bush had given us more than game. It had given us memories, milestones, and moments we'll never forget. As the day faded into a golden dusk, the sounds of the light-hearted game of touch rugby echoed across the camp. Barefoot sprints, laughter, and playful tackles, pure simple joy under an African sun. Meanwhile, supper preparation got underway. The next morning came with a quiet stillness, our final sunrise on this unforgettable adventure. It was time to pack up and head home. The cold room stood full, a bounty of ethically harvested game, each animal a story, a lesson, a moment shared, not a single misplaced shot. Every early morning, every round fired on the range, every correction and word of encouragement, it all paid off tenfold. The kids had grown in confidence and skill, and we all left the bush richer in memories than we ever imagined. What began as a dream, Ballistics John, a rifle build, hours on the range, stories around the fire, has become something far greater than just a hunt. It became a rite of passage, a bond forged in dust and recoil, in early mornings and long stalks, a journey of fathers, sons, daughters, and friends. We didn't just harvest animals, we grew roots in our heritage, our values, and in each other. And if this trip taught us anything, it's that the future of ethical hunting is alive and well, and it's in good hands. Until next time, stay sharp, shoot straight, and never stop making memories.